Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio. With your hosts, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Paris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
Welcome to Gamertag Radio, episode 1069. This is your host, Danny, and joining me this week, we have Pete. What's going on, Pete? All the way from the EU.
What's up? How you doing, dude?
What's up, man? How's everything? We were talking about some shows that
Umbrella
we've been watching
Academy.
lately, right? On Netflix, Amazon. Yeah. It's good. All right, so for those who are listening right now, which show you will recommend for them to watch? Very quick for the intro of the show.
Honestly, Umbrella Academy season 1 and 2 has been really, really good to watch. Raised by Wolves is the one that I'm looking forward to jumping into next. Sci-fi type, thriller stuff on Netflix. Obviously, The Boys season 2, which I haven't watched personally, but if it's as good as season 1, then yeah, should be good.
All right, Paris is going to be joining us here in a few minutes, but we have a couple of things that we're going to be talking about. The PlayStation 5 showcase, which is happening this Wednesday, I believe 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So most likely we will find out about the price of both consoles, games, and the official date, the release date of the next gen console. So we're going to be talking about that. Also, we have a rant for this week because Pete yesterday on Twitter posted somebody eating popcorn. So there's some stuff we're going to be ranting about.
We'll save that to the end of the show. We'll save that for the end. The best for last.
No, the end? I think we should start.
No.
I think we should start with that one.
We'll leave that either middle to the end. It's good stuff.
Okay, middle's good. Middle, we have something else to talk about at the end. And also, Paris and I are going to be talking about, we had a meeting with Astro, so we're going to talk about the new headset that's coming out. And yeah, stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. So head over to gamertagradio.com, post your comments and feedback. Also, you can find us on any podcast app. All you have to do is just search for Gamertag Radio. Once you search, we'll pop up, subscribe, follow us, post a review, and also share with your friends. Also, if you'd like to be part of our fan mail episode, this is how you can contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, Pete, while we're waiting for Paris, he's going to be joining us here in a few minutes, man. Were you surprised that on a Saturday morning, PlayStation announced that they're going to have a showcase? That's all they said, a 40-minute showcase. Most likely they're going to show some games and the price and release date of the console. But were you surprised that they announced that?
I'm not surprised that they announced it. I am surprised that it's as close as it is to the Apple showcase day, right? Mid-September is usually when they do their Apple iPad and iOS refresh. Got version 14 coming out. I'm actually beta testing it on my phone. It's actually pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. But yeah, and then I think the end of the month is when I think it's the 25th is when iOS 14 formally comes out for iPhone and iPads. So that said, I think I am surprised, like I said, with its proximity to the Apple Day, but I'm not surprised that they're going to have something this close after all the information that came out last week with Xbox's, the price and it's good for them. I'm glad because, and honestly, and I said this in the past, I'm glad Microsoft I'm glad that the information just came out, whether it was done maliciously or whatever. It
was though, and that's Paris. Hey, Paris, welcome back.
Like I was saying, regardless of how the information came out, I'm glad that it came out because now it forces Sony to just make their announcements and get it out of the way so that the consumers can just, all right, I'm either going to have enough money to now buy an Xbox One S or an Xbox Series S and a discless edition, or they can make their whatever they're going to do. If they're going to just go all in for the full PS5, or if they're going to go for the Xbox Series X.
Okay. We're going to talk about that right now, man. And also joining us is Paris, man. Paris, what's going on, man? Welcome back.
Yeah, what is going on, man? Yeah, I had to duck out for a second. Had a very important phone call to take, but so I missed the beginning of what you're talking about with the Xbox leaks that happened earlier this week.
No, it wasn't the leaks. We started off with the PlayStation 5 announcement because I know you wanted to talk about the leaks.
Okay. No. Yeah. No. I'm excited for the PlayStation. Finally having that announcement come out that we're gonna get it on Wednesday. I'm blanking on the date. Is that 16th? 16th. We're getting that announcement. We know we're gonna get the launch date. We're gonna get the price, obviously. Pre-order announcement as well, I would assume. But like I said on Twitter, I have a very sneaky feeling that they're gonna have a games that may not be coming in the quote unquote launch window, but they're going to at least announce or show something, a teaser to get people excited about it, to say, here's why you want to get a PlayStation 5. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, this is what it's all about, man. We're getting into the next gen and the gaming, and hopefully all this console war nonsense will knock. It won't, but we can hope, right? But I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I mean, the rumor that I've been hearing is there might be a new Final Fantasy 16 announcement, which if that happens, that's not going to come out for like a couple of years. Also, Demon Souls, maybe a God of War teaser, right? Because I know we've been hearing that the studio been working on that game for a while now. So when it comes to games, I know their PlayStation is good. We might see also some time exclusive announcements too. When it comes to like third party. So we'll see if we're going to get to see that on Wednesday afternoon. But the focus I really want to talk to you guys about is the price, because, we've been talking for a long time that we might see these consoles expensive. But I think now that Xbox announced the price for both the X and the S, I think that pressures Sony to make some changes to maybe match it or get close to at least the $499 console and have the digital version maybe $399, right? So, Paris, in your opinion, because we've been going back and forth on Twitter and everything, man, but how close do you think Sony should get to when it comes to price? Should they match it? Because I really thought it was going to go $299, but your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I'm of two minds of what potentially we'll see next week, which again is why it's so exciting to finally get this announcement so we can stop speculating. Either the fact that Xbox Series S is $299 and the X is $499, maybe that does affect their pricing, and they feel compelled to get that all digital down to $399. Just take the losses up front and do it. Or they look at this as a non-factor, going, we don't care what Xbox does. Here's what the PlayStation 5 is going to be, because we feel that we can offer you this amount of value at this price. So that's the fascinating thing to see. I personally think the disc version of the PlayStation 5 will be $499 to match what the Series X is. And then I do think that all digital is $399, because they can easily argue that, yeah, that's more valuable than the Series S because it's doing true 4K. It is a next gen PlayStation 5. It just doesn't have the disc drive in it. And we know that $399 number sells for Sony. It has since 2013. So to me, that makes the most sense to do, but I will not be shocked if it winds up being more. It won't shock me because the technology inside dictates the PlayStation 5 is worth more than $399 easily. It is worth $499, if not more. But do they feel pressure now that Series X is $500? That's going to be the big question that we'll see on Wednesday. So again, it's going to be interesting because, like I said, I can see it going both ways.
What about you, Pete? Do you think they should keep it $399, $499, or cheaper, or just put whatever price and focus on the games?
At the end of the day, they're going to do what they're going to want to do anyways. Personally, I would like to see them match Xboxes just to really tighten that playing field between the two and really give the ultimate value to the consumer. Knowing Sony, in my heart of hearts, I honestly think that they're going to do the $399, $499 combination. That seems to be what the prevailing consensus is, whether it's on the internet, whether it's trade publications, etc. I agree. I think $499 is going to be that top bar for pricing. I don't think it goes anywhere higher. If it does, they have to be truly, truly compelling from a hardware perspective to go that route and say, look, we're going to go over 400. We're going to go over the $499 price and go $599. I don't see them doing it because I don't see a compelling reason. They would have to come out and be like, all this, blah, 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 blah. This is what we're doing. Now, what I think Microsoft might do, because they might pull the AMD debate move that happened last year with NVIDIA and AMD with their pricing. I think once Sony makes their announcement on pricing, which we're all assuming is going to be next week, I think Microsoft sweetens the deal by adding, and I think this is what Paris has been talking about, although I think what Paris has been saying that he was, this is going to be a 3-month. I think Microsoft sweetens it by going either 6 months or 1 year of Game Pass included on year one. To sweeten the deal, to give more value to the consumer, and it truly locks them into the ecosystem. It makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Now, what if?
Oh, here we go.
It's expensive. What if it's expensive? No, I'm just saying, because here's a conversation I've been bringing up a lot, and I've been saying this for a while. Microsoft could make it cheap, and for sure, the $299 console is way more than $299. They're losing money every time they sell that console. Also, the Series X, also, right? But the thing is, Xbox could make that money back because of the services like Xbox Game Pass, right? I don't know if Sony could really do that. Like, when it comes to the overall, as a company, the gaming division is the one that's making the most money. So, are they gonna really drop it all the way to $399 though? Paris, your thoughts on that, man? Because that's something that we've been talking about for a while.
Say it again. That $399 price point works. It is 100% proven to work the past 7 years. So if there's a way they can get that PlayStation 5 down to there, that is going to be perceived as an extreme value proposition for anyone that wants to pick up a next gen console, because now you're arguing, Xbox is able to argue on the low end that, it's not 4K, but we're giving you all the next gen features. PlayStation can argue at $399, we are giving you all the next gen features, plus we're doing it at native 4K, the whole thing. And again, that price has sold for them. So if they can do it, I said this on Unlocked earlier this week, I'll say it again. They don't want to be $399 because they're going to take a huge loss at $399. But if they feel they have to be at $399, they're going to do it. Because let's not forget, in 2013, $399 was a direct reaction to Microsoft placing that microwave at $499. They saw an opportunity to undercut them and to have the more powerful system, so they undercut them by again, rumors. We don't know how this is true, but the rumor is originally the PlayStation 4 was going to have that camera in it too, right? The PlayStation Eye, whatever the hell it was. And they were going to be more expensive than they were. But when they saw that Microsoft bundled Kinect at $500, they saw an opportunity. Rip the camera out. Take the camera out, drop it down to $400. Now there's $100 price difference, and the rest is history. That's kind of the same, but not really, because obviously you have the Series S, but they could once again say, we have a true next gen system that is $100 cheaper than their high end system. They can have that argument again. They get the best of both worlds, where they can price match at the high end for the disc version, and then have this digital version that sits in the middle between what Xbox is doing with the X and the S. And consumers can look at that and say, that's a fair price, not to mention this vast exclusive gaming library that has proven itself the past 7 years as well to just give you these quality AAA experiences. So when you factor all that in, if Sony wants to absolutely cement themselves as the leader without having to even worry about anything that Microsoft does, price that thing at $399, in my opinion. You take the loss up front and you just do it.
So we already know that hardware sales don't account for anything other than a loss for the first 3 to 5 years anyways, right? That's a given.
Right.
We know that either of the platforms are making their money solely on subscription and services and helps them truly sustain the product for the first couple of years until hardware sales start to catch up with the costs for development and production. And maybe I missed the question or missed the comment. Are you saying that you think PlayStation 5, the higher end PlayStation 5 is going to be $399 with
No.
discless or you're talking the discless edition will be $399? Okay, so we're all on the same page. Okay.
Digital
Okay.
edition.
Okay. All right. That's the one thing. When you started talking, I was like, is he talking about discless or is he talking about the full set? Okay. All right. That's my bad.
This is a wrong question because it's not Microsoft's fault that they had to announce that about the price, because the original plan was Microsoft was going to announce it sometime this week, but I feel like Sony could have still waited maybe a week later and still announce the price. And I think they were waiting for Microsoft to make the first move no matter what the price and the date was announced, So, and it's crazy if you think about it. So Xbox Series S and X is coming out November 10th. And the rumor is November 13th is when the PlayStation 5 is coming out, the same day when Call of Duty comes out. That's going to be a very crazy, crazy week. Both next-gen systems coming out, man. Last time it was just, I think, a week apart from each other. So it's going to be very interesting, man. Now, Paris, I know we're going to be talking about the leaks later on, but do you think was a mistake for Xbox to make the first move, or you think it would have been better for them after Sony makes the first move, now that Sony knows the price? Because now it's like 2013, they're reacting from Xbox announcements.
Well, trying to think of the best way to phrase this. I guess I don't like the question that you asked me. Is it better for Xbox or whatever? I honestly don't care either way. It's just announce the damn price. You know what I'm saying? If you're confident in what you're doing, announce it. I do think them saying $499 and $299 on the high end and the low end, it shouldn't matter what PlayStation says. Right? Because you're saying we're giving you value at the high end because that Series X, again, is clearly worth more than $500. And on the low end, wow, you're giving me a next gen experience, everything except the resolution, right? It does everything that the Series, well, allegedly, I'm sure we'll get into this more, but it does basically everything the Series X does, but at 1440p. And it's only $300. There's good value in that as well. So be confident in what you're saying. And look, obviously the leaks forced their hand. It sounds like from everything that we're finding out now, they were going to say it next week anyways. So it doesn't matter from an Xbox standpoint. And then I would flip it back to PlayStation and say they should be confident with their prices, regardless of what Xbox does either. If you're truly giving us a value, whatever you're pricing it at, just make the argument to the consumer on why it's worth this price point. Now, again, I don't think that all digital is going to be $500. I will be shocked if it is. But what if the all digital one is $500? Now you have to say, compared to our competitors, we think this is good value because of X, Y, and Z. That honestly, that's all it comes down to. Either way, again, this is why I'm so glad all this is going to be done next week. I'm so tired of speculating on prices and all this stuff. Just say what the price is, and then let me, the consumer, decide if it's worth my money or not. I do think what Xbox has shown us is worth the investment, either on the high end or the low end, especially the Series S. I think the Series S is going to be their big seller for the holiday, more so than the X. Now let's see what PlayStation does, and if I think the same. Again, this is why this event on Wednesday is going to be fascinating to see. What is their pricing strategy? What is their sales pitch when it comes to the games lineup? Like, what are we getting in the short term? What's coming in the long term? All that. I do think this whole pre-order thing is going to wind up being a fiasco with this whole lottery system that they're doing. So? Yeah, because I don't think there's going to be a lot.
I think.
Well, can I finish? Okay. Why, or you want to cut me off?
Yeah,
again?
No, go ahead. I did stay quiet, but go ahead.
I had to do it. No. But my point on that one is I think it's going to be a fiasco because I don't think there's going to be a lot of PlayStation 5s, especially that all digital one. That's one thing I'm pretty, until I'm proven wrong, I think that all digital will be a unicorn in 2020. I think they're going to want you to buy that disc version because it's going to be priced higher. And I think you're going to see a lot of, with the retailers anyways, you're going to see a lot of bundle deals. They're going to make you buy a lot of extra stuff that you don't need to be able to get a PlayStation this holiday. Xbox, maybe not. I don't know. But I do think, just reading the tea leaves, it sounds like don't expect a whole bunch of PlayStation 5s in 2020. So if you do get one, look at eBay, it's going to wind up being inflated, the whole thing. Just my opinion, but we'll see on Wednesday.
So my question to you, Paris, because you said about the PlayStation 5 digital version being a unicorn. I think that's a mistake, man, if that happens, because right there you're losing sales of a console that could be cheap. Because if you're a fan of Sony, right, and you want to buy that console and you don't want to deal with the disc drive version, right? You want to go strictly digital, and it's not hard to find it. Then you have to wait until it's eventually available in stores, because we don't know how many units is going to be out there in the States. Because I know reading the press release from the worldwide release is going to be after the U.S. release. So sometime most likely around December, I think it's going to be available in other countries. Yeah. So I think that's a mistake if Sony does that, man, because they will lose a lot of sales because of
Let me throw this scenario at you. I get what you're saying, and I agree with you, but let me throw this scenario at you from a business standpoint. And again, we know nothing. I know nothing. I'm an idiot. Don't listen to me.
No, we're
right?
just having a fun.
Right?
We're just having fun.
So let's just say pretend. Yeah. Let's just say pretend. There's 5 million PlayStation 5s available in North America this holiday, right? 4 million of them are the disc version. 1 million is the all digital. Again, $4.99, $3.99. Let's just do that scenario. They can now say, well, we have all digitals that are available for $3.99. So again, we're giving this great value. But the other 4 million are at $4.99. Plus they throw a bundle deal. You got to buy a controller and the headset and all that. You got to remember, the hardcore are going to buy both of these systems, Xbox and PlayStation, no matter the price this holiday. They just are. So I don't think it hurts them in the short term, because they're going to sell out of whatever they got anyways. And if you're taking a huge loss on that $3.99 all digital, the less that you have actually out there in circulation, the less money you lose up front. Because again, the most hardcore fans are buying the Xbox Series X, S, PlayStation 5, all digital, undigital, ColecoVision 12 version. It doesn't matter. They're buying them all. They're all going to sell out. They are all selling out this holiday. So this is why I'm saying less of the all digital. If they're truly at $3.99, again, this is all pretend. If it is truly $3.99 and they're taking a huge loss on every all digital one sold, the less that are out there, the less they lose. But they're still going to sell out of no matter what they have for the hardware up front. But they can always say on any marketing sheet, on any commercial, PlayStation 5 starting at $3.99. They can say that because it's true. But you just don't have that many out there. It's true, yeah. So then by next year, when the manufacturing costs go down, you're not losing as much money. Now you start pumping more all digitals out there into the market. And then, people go buy them at $3.99 and they just keep doing what they're doing. But the entire time they can say PlayStation 5 is $3.99. They can say that. But it's a unicorn because you can't find one. And they make you overbuy for all these bundle deals. I'm telling you, this is going to happen. It's because it's PlayStation, dude. They're buying it no matter what, dude. We see social media. We see how crazy people get over this stuff, the frenzy. So imagine this holiday when it's going to be, if you got a PlayStation, oh my God, he got one. Oh my God. Dude, you know how it works, dude. Remember Cabbage Patch Dolls back in the 80s and all that kind of stuff? There's going to be a frenzy. Yep. People are going to throw money at this no matter what. So in that sense, I think from a business standpoint, I would limit the amount of all digital ones out there just for that fact, because it ain't going to matter. People are going to buy it no matter what.
I was just saying, just think about it. If $100 difference is all there is between the PlayStation 5 digital and the full PlayStation 5, and they're sold out of the digital edition, that $100 difference makes a big makes a compelling reason to say, you know what, if I just drop the extra 100 because there's more sold out versions of the cheaper edition, that forces the consumer to say, you know what, it's just $100.
Yep.
And I'll get the full strength version of it. Whereas I think it may hinder Microsoft, if you think about it, because now they got to shell out twice as much. They're going from 300 to 400 or 300 to 500. If you're going from an Xbox Series S and they're sold out, right? Let's just use that as the example. Xbox Series S is sold out, but you got 2 Series X's on their shelf. You're like, damn, I got to drop 200 to get that X because I can't get the Series S. That actually makes a little bit more sense from a consumer perspective. Looking at it like that, it's like, damn, I only got to pay $300 for the PlayStation 5 discless, and they're sold out, but there's one extra PS5, and it's only an extra honey. That's an easy sell, And like I think Paris said it on the last show, where the wife goes in to go buy it, looks at the 300 to 500, automatically is going to point at 300 because people are always going to look for value. Except for those that are already in the know or hardcore ecosystem fans, it's almost a no-brainer. It kind of makes more sense. So you would think, right? Obviously, we're thinking in supposition here, but you would think that PlayStation and Sony Sony and Microsoft are both saying, you know what? Let's ramp up production on the lower, on the smaller, on the shorter, on the Series S / discless edition PlayStation 5 lines more so than the bigger ones, because we know that we're going to be able to self-sustain on that one more, because we'll be able to sell out that one more. Just make the other one almost kind of like a simulated, or it's simulated is the wrong word. It's almost like an artificial shortage for inventory.
It's a paper launch.
Right?
That's what it's a paper launch. Like I give you an example from the PC standpoint. So, hey, look, next week, NVIDIA, or I guess this week, if you're listening to it, on the 17th, NVIDIA is dropping the Ampere card. So the 3080 comes out. And then the week after that, the 3090 card comes out. So again, what if, because I'm just taking it from my standpoint, on the 17th, I go try to buy a 3080, Founders Edition is sold out, but then Zotac has their version and it's $800 instead of $700. Guess what? I'm buying the $800 version because I want it now. I don't want to wait. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you're saying, Pete, that's what's going to happen. If people see a PlayStation 5 that is there, that, again, pretend it's $600, disc version, they make you buy the extra controller and a headset, and it's $600. There's a quote unquote $400 version, but you can't find it anywhere. But you're literally in Best Buy and you see it sitting there. You're gonna buy it because little Johnny has been complaining since June about he wanted PlayStation 5.
Johnny's been complaining for how long we've been on Twitch now?
That's my point. But you get my point.
Little Johnny's a pain in the ass. Sorry, little Johnny's a pain in the ass.
my point on that is I'm saying for the holiday, if your kid is saying, I want a PlayStation 5, I want a PlayStation 5, I want a PlayStation 5, you see one and it's the last one there and there's not another one and you don't know when the next one's coming. You're just going to say, it's just $100. Screw it. And you're just going to go get it. That's the point I'm making. So again, if their strategy is to say they have a $399 console, it's going to be very hard to find in 2020. That's all I'm saying.
Every time when a company launches a new product, right? Like, let's remember the Nintendo Wii. It was hard to find during those days. Also, the PlayStation 2 was pretty big. PlayStation 4 was really tough to find, right? What happened? All the media. I'm talking about major media outlets like, NBC News, CNN, ABC, Good Morning America, the Today Show, right? They always will talk about what is the best product? What's the hot product right now for this holiday? They're going to be talking about that. It's hard to find. So a more free promotion for PlayStation, So that's possible too, man. That's really possible. Now, let me ask you this for both of you guys. Let's start with Paris. Now, do you think it's going to be the same thing with the Series S? That is going to be a unicorn compared to the X because it's so cheap?
I think it's the opposite,
I think they both are.
No, I think
they both are.
I think it's the opposite, actually. I think they're going to flood the market with the Series S more so than the X because, again, the price, the value, it's $300. Because, again, we're talking different philosophies here, right? PlayStation's the leader. PlayStation knows people are buying this no matter what. Microsoft is trying to regain market share. So they want to look like the good guys, the goodwill stuff. So they want Best Buys to be stacked to the gills with consoles, with Series S's, because that's the one that the parents are going to go buy because it's a cheap one, right? Again, the X is going to be there. Don't get me wrong. But I think if I had to guess the split, I would say it's 60-40 S over X as far as in the market, because they want to get that box in your house so that you then subscribe to Game Pass and then they get you locked in. I think that matters more to Xbox right now than it does to PlayStation, because again, I think PlayStation, dude, all they got to put out is a flipping logo and everyone goes crazy, right? Whereas Xbox,
a million likes,
yeah. Where Xbox, and I keep saying this, and I know Twitter, look, I guess, okay, I'll be a Sony pony right now because I'm going to say something negative about Xbox and it'll flip later, I'm sure. But Xbox still has to prove their value proposition to you. They have to prove their games line up, the whole thing. And they know this and they've talked about this. So they're willing to be more consumer friendly. And I'm not saying PlayStation is not consumer friendly, but PlayStation has already proven themselves, whereas Xbox is still trying to do so. So again, they'd be better off getting as many consoles out as they possibly can at as cheap as they can, because they want that desperate parent that's standing in Best Buy going, I got to get this kid something. There ain't no damn PlayStation. Oh, what? Oh, $300. Okay, I'll just get it. Done. Sign the Game Pass, done. And like you said, Pete, slip in that extra little sweetener with Game Pass sub, so you don't even have to go buy that. You're getting it automatically. Lock them into the ecosystem. Oh my God, look at all these games. This is amazing. Oh, this is great. And now they keep going from there. If I was on the marketing team, that's what I would do anyways. But I'm probably an idiot and all this.
They should hire you. They should hire you.
Well, it's like what I was talking about earlier, Paris. It's just I would if you were to ask me, I would ramp up production on the Series S and the discless edition of the PlayStation 5. Ramp that up higher than what is currently going for the higher performing machines. It's just you're going to sell those a lot more than you're going to sell the Series X and PlayStation 5 full. So it just makes more sense.
Mm-hmm. And there's one thing that you guys haven't even mentioned yet, that if somebody buys a PlayStation 5, the person at the store, the salesperson, they might say, hey, you could get the Series S, pay $25 a month. That's another thing too, Paris. Finance.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Game Pass, EA Play, all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Yeah, all Xbox All Access. Yeah, so that's another thing that it could help for Xbox. I can see people buying a PS5 and also the Series S. Same thing how people have been also doing the same exact thing with the Nintendo Switch throughout the years since they came out. They either have the Xbox One X or the S, and they have that, or the PlayStation 4 or Nintendo Switch, or even a PC owner might just buy a Switch. So it helped out for Nintendo because of the price. But having it for $25 a month though, and you get all those games, that's also going to be a game changer for Xbox. For more people are going to be buying it now because of that. So I think you're right. We might see more S like in different stores more than the X. So I could definitely agree with that when it comes to that stuff, man. So anything else about the PlayStation 5 price and showcase?
Again, I'm excited for it, man. I would just say, my Miss Cleo, I would imagine we get at least a tease for God of War 2. Just to say hey, it's coming. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Show the logo, a little animation of the character, and that's it.
Yep.
And that's the move.
Just give me just have him on the screen. Come on, boy.
Yep.
And then boom, done.
Literally, that's all you got to do. Literally,
boy. It'll be trending, and that game comes out 2024, 25, and that's all they need to do.
Yep.
They're good. I think that will make a lot of people buy the product just with that teaser right there. Yeah, but they definitely have to show games that's coming out in 2021. So I know Ratchet and Clank, but show us something that's coming out after that. Not too far. Have some games that is going to come out years from now, but have that one game that's coming out in 2021, man.
You're listening to Gamertag Radio.
yeah, so I know there's a big rant coming up, man. So Paris, I know you've been holding this for a couple of days, man, and I know you mentioned on Twitter. Make sure to follow him, Vicious696 on Twitter. What is his rant about?
It's not even really a rant.
There,
it's not even really a rant. It's just more of, honestly, it's just common sense and freaking human decency more than anything. So going back to the Xbox thing with the leak that happened on Monday night or on Labor Day, basically their plans for the Series S, the reveal, the price, all that stuff got leaked out Monday night. We've even seen more recently a video series that was going to be shown to the press got leaked out as well, right? Mm-hmm. People saw that. Look, and Microsoft did an amazing job scrambling the last minute to basically plug the leak and spin it into a positive. And the reception obviously has been pretty good, about the Series S and just the pricing, everything that we just talked about. I need to repeat that. But the thing that that bugs me is to just see how selfish and just cold some people can be. Like, look, anonymous, but you can go on my Twitter and see who said it. I had a person say to me, who's a pretty known person in the industry, that, they'll be fine. They're $1 trillion company. Yeah, of course, Microsoft is $1 trillion company and they're going to be fine. No one's talking about the company. No one's talking about their wallet size or any of that impact. It's about the human aspect of this. Look, everybody wants their games. Everybody wants to know the price and the launch dates. We all do. Of course we do. This is what we've been talking about all summer during the pandemic. But when that leaked, that ruined months, if not years, of planning, preparation, pivoting during a global pandemic. Remember, they're doing all this stuff from home, remotely, and there's so many moving parts in there. So to have all that hard work ruined by a tweet sucks. And you may not care listening or watching to this because all you care about is getting your video games. But there are people behind the scenes that were absolutely crushed by this, because all that work just done with a tweet. Why do all that planning and preparation if all they had to do was put out a tweet, right? And then you got people in the middle of the night scrambling to spin it. I guarantee you this at least went all the way up to Phil Spencer at some point. Phil Spencer probably got a call in the middle of the night. Phil, oh crap, it leaked. And then they went from there. So when you think about the people it's literally their jobs to do this, that sucks. And we should have some empathy for that instead of basically just mocking them online and not caring about their feelings and all that. And look, I've had some private conversations with some people on that side. And between the three of us, we know a lot of people, not just at Xbox, but just throughout the gaming industry that work in PR and marketing. And you may not see it up front, but we do. And it sucks to have the rug pulled from up under them. And time's being taken away from their families to have to deal with this, especially with everything that's going on right now. That's not fun. Look, we all want the information as soon as we can get it. I understand that because I feel the same way. But I also like a surprise too. I do. I like surprises. And they clearly had a plan on how they wanted to release this information. It wasn't on any of our timelines because, again, if it wasn't for COVID, we would have known about all this stuff months ago. Because let's remember, Digital Foundry has been sitting on the Series S info since March. So that's how long they've been planning all this stuff. And then COVID happened and it changed everything. I just think people suck. I really do. I think a lot of you out there suck. And you know who you are because I think you're selfish.
Look, Paris, I agree 100% what you were saying. As gamers, yeah, everybody's get excited and everything. But like you're saying, man, the people that have been working on this for a long time, all that thrown out because of the leak, right? But then there's people that take advantage of that. They'll find it and they post it so it will benefit them because it will get new followers, new viewers. It could be more clicks to their website, everything, right? And they haven't done the work. They just found it or somebody gave it to them and that's it, right? But the thing that bothers me is that a lot of people think this was planned and it was not planned at all. That part bothers me a lot. Yeah. Yeah. So Yeah. Anything else you want to say about that, or?
No, I mean, it just to piggyback off of what you're saying, it sucks because obviously we all saw the news Monday night, right? And we just started talking about it because it's out. I mean, literally, Brad Sams is the one, he's, from Thurrott, that posted it. So you're like, wow, this is a Windows Insider. This is a reputable source. All right, let's go ahead and start talking about it. But then as you find out later, the backstory behind it, it kind of sucks. Because look, and I won't even name who it is, but we know another Windows Insider who clearly already knew this information for a while. And he sat on it. He wasn't putting it out there. He wasn't talking about it. But when he saw the floodgates open, well, screw it. I might as well go ahead and say what I know too, kind of thing. So it's almost this trickle down effect. So that's where it comes into, because look, let's just keep it 100 for a sec. We know things ahead of time on certain things. We know ahead of time all the time. And we may have a person, slide up in the DMs and tell us some stuff about some things. But we respect that privacy, that information, and we don't put it out for public consumption. And look, I'm not saying we're some crazy insiders or anything, but there's certain things about certain products that we get a little heads up on. That's that thin line of what do you report, what don't you report, what are you respectful of, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because I think I'm so upset about the whole leak thing because it's about relationships at the end of the day, right? I feel anyways. We have a lot of relationships with a lot of people on both sides of the fence when it comes to the media and even on the publisher and developer side and all that. So I care more about my relationships with the people than I do about getting some extra clicks because we were able to break a story that we know is going to ruin some plans that were already happening. Look, if something happens, if something leaks out, we just talk about it. I get, because you can't control that. Mistakes happen. But when something malicious like this happens, it sucks because you know who it's affecting and how much do you really want to talk about it versus actually reporting news. It's a very thin line, and I'm probably not making sense. So I'm sure I'm making some people mad when even saying this stuff. But I like I said, I care more about the people. Like I said, I have had, forget their job title, whatever. I've had conversations privately over the past few days with certain people about this, about how it affected them and their family and the things that they're trying to do more so than, ooh, Series X is $299. Okay, great. But wow, think about all the planning and that went into this, and you literally almost got to the finish line, and right before you got there, boop, it's out, and now you got to pivot, and everything you had planned is ruined. So I care more about that kind of stuff, and to just be frank with you, I think relationships help us in GTR way more for the long term than the short term instant gratification of, oh look, Gamertag Radio just leaked out that the Series X is $499 or whatever the hell, right? Because other companies pay. Look, again, we joke about this all the time, but it's true. You never know who's watching you. So what you say online does matter either way. And the information that you put out, if you're betraying the trust of one company, why the hell is another company going to work with you down the road? It goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm probably not even making sense right now with the whole internet thing.
No, you're making sense. You're making sense because here's the thing, man. And there's people that was on our show or us recording an interview that they slip and will say certain things, and I'll take it out because I don't want them to get in trouble. And we've been holding that information for years.
Yeah.
That happened to me multiple times. And it's because, like you said, the human part. People are going to think, oh, the company's making millions of dollars. Who cares, right? But that person and his team or her team been working on this for a long time. So why release that? That is not a good thing for them. Yeah, for you, short term, yeah, you get your little buzz, front page news and everything, right? But is that going to help you overall to get more content in the future because you released a leak? Think about that. Was that worth it?
No, it never is.
So.
It never is. And
No.
I was going to say, like, just look at the folks at Digital Foundry. They were lucky enough to already have hands-on with the Xbox One X and or Xbox Series X and Series S back in March. But because of the pandemic and everything that happened, they were held off by NDA. They could have leaked it at any time, that they wanted. But they have that relationship. And in order to continue to foster that relationship from a professional perspective, you hold on to that information no matter how much of a hit you're going to get from a downloads and CPM, et cetera. Yeah, fine. It would have been great for the first day or two or three, but then after that, how do you sustain that? You do that by doing what you're supposed to do, which is staying professional and fostering that relationship. And that's how you get more information in the future. And that's how you build your channel, build your brand. So, I mean, and we were talking about this before we even went live, right? I personally thought that the leak was, as we've seen in the past, or we've heard in the past, where it was actually, the leak was from Microsoft or leaked from whomever. But, who am I? I'm just some random dude in Switzerland right now, right? So I don't know anything.
But that's the thing. It wasn't a planned leak. And this is no disrespect against you, Pete, but I think that mentality is ridiculous. That these multi-million, trillion-dollar companies are going to do some guerrilla marketing leak of a product when they're more than capable of just simply putting it out the right way and still getting the same message out. What advantage would Microsoft have gotten by putting out a random leak to Brad Sams on a holiday Monday night in the middle of the night in most places of the world? What did they gain by that? That makes no sense to me.
Honestly, if you look at it, if you flip that and you look at the reaction and the response that they did, that was actually a lot more plottable than what we've seen from other companies.
I disagree with that. I really do.
Okay.
I really do. Having see, and it makes me mad again thinking about it. It's not you. I'm just saying overall.
I know. And I don't see a reason to get mad, but
logically. Okay, so Brad Sams posting a half-assed picture of the Series S online with a speculative price is going to do more for their marketing than having a properly planned out and presented show with a time and a place for all the eyeballs of the world to gather to see what that information is going to be. That does not make sense to me. And if I was on that marketing team and I heard that to be proposed about, let's just leak a couple pictures of Brad Sams and he'll tweet about it and he'll make a quick video on a holiday Monday night about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. That's our reveal. We'll do that. That doesn't make sense to me. Who Phil Spencer would fire that person on the spot for saying something like that. I mean, again, logically, I'm thinking this logically. Am I saying that there haven't been on purpose leaks in the past? Of course there has been. I get it. But I'm talking about something of this magnitude. Really? Literally the worst kept secret in gaming has been Lockhart. We've all known it's coming. So why would you wait until a week before you were properly going to reveal it to just guerrilla leak it online? That, I don't believe that at all. And I think that, again, we've seen, because Cindy Walker has put out, she's like the whole head of the marketing stuff behind this. And she was in the video that leaked out as well. She said herself on Twitter that this wasn't a leak. It was stolen, number one. And that this completely ruined all of their plans. And it affected her on a human level, on a personal level. So, yeah, I don't like when I see people online say, oh, yeah, Microsoft planned this. I think that's ignorant. I really do. I honestly do. And people get mad at me for saying that if they want to. But it's the truth. I think that is an ignorant statement to say that Microsoft purposely, or even PlayStation and Nintendo would purposely leak something like this. Apple, okay, do we think Apple would do something like this? Would Apple guerrilla leak the new iPhone 12? Of course not. They're going to have an event. They're going to want your ass there at Wednesday at 10 a.m., ready to see it, and they're going to put on their whole show. That's how this stuff works. What reveals like this. Now, again, I can understand some underground, smaller company, you do some guerrilla marketing to kind of get that grassroots effort going. But Microsoft doesn't need that. PlayStation doesn't need that. So again, I think it's ignorant to say that they would purposely leak something like this. Because why would you have marketing teams working for months and months and months on a plan just to then have it go out on a random tweet with a half blurry picture? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But on the flip side, too, I want to mention this. Yes, it got leaked, but I have to give props to the social media team.
Of course.
They handled it amazingly. They handled it.
They pivoted great.
They've handled it perfectly.
I mentioned this to Tony and Paris. We were having a conversation on Twitter. I mentioned to them that to me was one of the biggest highlights in gaming this year, because it was like it was funny. The tweets that we're putting out from Xbox original account, it felt like an event, because there was like so many things going on that week, but they did it, and they did an amazing job.
Mm-hmm.
Like I even mentioned online that team deserved an award for how they handled the whole situation. You know, something that was terrible bad, but they made it into something positive and something that it got a lot of buzz and a lot of press. And yes, it sucked, because at the same time, those videos that got leaked a couple of days ago, that was supposed to be for the press. The press was going to get that first, and that's how we were going to get the announcement about the price and the partnership they have with EA Play and Xbox Game Pass. They had this whole thing set up, and that thing was just completely gone because of the leak. Those videos got canceled, because I read that from multiple tweets from people from Xbox. They said that they canceled it right away, man. You know, those people that spend hours editing that, recording that, the interviews, everything, it just sucked, man.
And it really helped to have like companies like Oreo, who did the little meme with the Oreo cookie on the inside. That actually helped. Mm-hmm. On top of that, seeing all the other major corporations actually using it and memeing it. I think it was like I think I saw like a pizza one as well from a major pizza vendor or whatever. But seeing little things like that helped that again. And look, we'll agree. You know, we can. You know, look, Paris. I agree with you in the fact that yes, the leak was sucky. Okay, I almost said the bad word. It was sucky. It should not have happened. Right, and I totally agree. So don't misconstrue what I said as thinking that, you know, it was deliberately done. No. And that's part of the argument that I got into with random Twitter person 001. I'm not going to name them. But the leak should never have happened. Okay. When it's a legitimate leak in this form or fashion, then yes, it should not have happened. I just want to make that abundantly clear. So don't get, you know, so people don't get me wrong. But like you said, the way that they react, the way the social team reacted, the way they pivoted and made it a positive, where it absolutely was a negative at that point, you have to applaud them. Give, you know, 150%. They did it. They did it right. They jumped on the grenade and they made it a positive. They made roses grow out of poop.
That and here's the part that a lot of people don't know. Yes, it was a lot of positive press, everything, right? But behind the scenes, yo, they didn't even sleep that night, man. That sucks.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really does.
It sucks. That's not good for your health. You're spending more time away from your family because all this mess is going on. So yeah, like that, the whole thing sucks, man. Everybody, it was just planned. Nah, man, no way. Do more research and find out if it was a leak or not, because everybody from Xbox was online saying like, no, this was not a leak that was planned at all. You know? So anything else from that so we can move on?
No, I think that's it. And obviously I know we had the disruption in the middle, but yeah. I mean, last thing I'll just say on it, you know, I know not everyone's going to agree with what I just said, and people are like, I just want my games. I don't care about the people behind it. I know there's going to be people that have that mentality, but I do care because, you know, these are people, it is literally their job to do this, right? You would not want someone coming to your job for something that a project you've been working on for freaking 6 months. And then the week before you're about to present it to the executive team, it gets leaked out to the entire company. Now it's ruined. Your whole pitch, everything you've been practicing for and planning for is ruined. So think of it in those terms. And all I'm saying is just have a little bit of empathy for the people behind the games and the marketing and all that you enjoy. That's all I'm saying. I'll be quiet because I'll rant about this forever. But that's it.
Yeah,
that's
all good. It's all good. All right. So before we wrap it up, Paris, a couple weeks ago, we had a private meeting with Astro, right? They're planning to release a couple of new headsets coming out. These are the ones that we got to see during the meeting. Do you have the list? Because I don't have the list with me right here. Sorry about that.
Okay, yeah. So Astro had a couple announcements that, like Danny said, we got briefed on. First one is basically all your current Astro equipment will be next gen ready. There may be some firmware updates depending on if you're on Xbox or PlayStation that you'll have to do, but they're gonna make sure that everything that you already own, be it the Gen 1 A20, be it your Astro A50s, be it your A40s on down the line, will work on the next generation console. So that's great. Like I said, might have to do a firmware update for it to work, but all that stuff is going to work moving forward. Another thing that just got announced was they are coming out with a Gen 2 version of the Astro A20s. And included with those will be a USB transmitter for both Xbox and PlayStation, so you can swap between the two. The range on them, they've increased the wireless range. They've increased the battery life. Like I said, we got to see them a couple weeks ahead of time. They look pretty slick. I believe they're going to retail for $120, and they're going to start shipping out in October. Also, the A10s, they're coming out with a new Call of Duty version of those as well. So I believe those are also coming out in October. I could be slightly mistaken on that one, but they're coming soon as well. But this is cool, man. Like I'm talking on Astro A50s right now. They've been pretty good headsets for me. The latest revisions. If you go into the past of Gamertag Radio, I've not always been the biggest fan of Astro for various reasons, but I really think they've stepped up their game the past few years with their products, and I'm just happy to see that if you already got your Astro headsets, they're not going to make you have to go run out and spend all that money all over again to be able to use them on the next gen consoles. Like I said, you'll just download a firmware update and you'll be good to go. So yeah, it's good stuff.
Anything else from that, Paris?
No, other than like I said, I am very glad that we don't need to go run out and buy new headsets for to have a next gen audio experience with these Astro products. But those Gen 2 Astro A20s do look slick. I definitely recommend people go to the Astro site, check them out. Like I said, $120, you can go pre-order them, and they are compatible on both Xbox and PlayStation. So it's good stuff.
Head over to gamertagradio.com, post your comments and feedback. Also, you can find us on any podcast app. Just search for Gamer Tag Radio and subscribe. Post a review if you get the chance. Also, if you'd like to be part of our fan mail episode or segment, here's how you can contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, we're going to wrap it up here. Is there anything you would like to say, Paris or Pete, before we end the show? Anything you want to promote?
Just wanted to close it out really quick. Rest in peace, Diana Rigg, famous actress. I also want to give a massive congratulations to Naomi Osaka for winning U.S. Open. First Asian, I believe, and she's also half Jamaican, so shout out to her. And then, wishes out to everybody out in the West Coast, specifically, obviously, California, Paris, where you live. Portland, them battling all those brush fires. If you can, stay indoors. The air quality out there is complete crap right now. So, try and stay inside, or if you've got some form of air filtration system, use that in your homes. And that's it. And I'm going to go there, but yeah, arrest the killers of Breonna Taylor because they're still going free. I'm out.
All right. Paris?
I just co-sign everything that Pete just said. I don't need to repeat it, so I will pivot into a more positive thing that's going on right now. Congratulations to my Los Angeles Lakers for finally ending this Houston Rocket gimmick, Harden dribble, step back three experiment. It's over. It's over. Thank God. We won't have to see this nonsense anymore. Bring on the Clippers. I'm ready. Let's do it. Western Conference Finals.
All right. Hey, Pete, the Heat, man. 305, represent.
Heat Lakers. Let's go. Heat Lakers.
Let's go.
Finals.
Let's go.
Saying
All right.
it. Calling it.
All right, everybody, thank you for listening. Until next time, make sure to tune in on Twitch. This Wednesday, we're going to be streaming the PlayStation Showcase, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And after that, we'll record like our live reaction about the showcase. So that's about it. Until next time, we're out. Peace.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.